Hi guys, it's Kira, Thebookbella, and I am very excited to talk about a book today that I just finished over the weekend, and I wanted to share it all with you. I wanted to give you guys my review on it because I am just very excited that I had the opportunity to read it. City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This book has been getting a lot of buzz around BookTube, and I had to have it when I heard about it. I love ghost stories, and I haven't read that many of them, but I was so excited to sit down and finally get a chance to read this. This is about a girl named Cassidy who can see ghosts. Her parents are ghost hunters. In a matter of sorts, her father deals with historical stuff and her mom deals with the storytelling, which is the more magical element. They have come out with 9 books. Well, about a year ago, Cassidy was going to a pond and she fell in and it was freezing, and she was rescued by Jacob, who turned out to be a ghost. Before that incident, Cassidy could not see ghosts at all. So she can now see ghosts. She's always been kind of something of an outcast. They really didn't say that, but it didn't seem like she had a whole lot of other friends besides Jacob, her ghost pal. At the beginning of the book, they go through and they start exploring a haunted auditorium in her school, and she goes through the veil. The veil is what separates us from the dead. It's the reason why we can't see the dead, aside from the fact that we do not have the ability to. This was a fun read. This is considered a middle grade novel, and I really enjoyed this. Most middle grade books don't read like a YA book, but I kind of felt that this did, except for the content. The content, of course, was very well within the lines of being middle grade, and I really had a fun time reading this. Usually middle grade is something that I struggle with. Well, my biggest complaint about this book was the fact that, yes, the characters were a little bit flat, but I still found them very enjoyable, and they still didn't feel extremely flat. They felt like they had some life in them, and I have to say, in comparison to a lot of middle grade books, Harry Potter aside, of course, a lot of characters in middle grade books are not very well developed, and that seems to be a growing trend. Wondersmith was another exception. Those characters were also very well developed. So I have to say that I put this in the classification of reasonably well developed characters for a middle grade novel. So that right there was extraordinary. I wasn't sure how this was going to read when I started everything. So I was very pleased to find out that one of my biggest concerns wasn't an extreme concern. You always want fleshed out characters, and middle grade, for whatever reason, maybe it's because of how short it is, they don't have the same kind of time that the YA books do and the adult books do to flesh out their characters, but they gave me enough descriptions for the characters that I still had a feel for them, even if they weren't completely fleshed out. Now, another thing that I will definitely say about this book is that there are Harry Potter references galore. And I have to say, being a Harry Potter fan, I absolutely loved that. I ate it up. It was just so great. And they weren't caked on really thick. They were just subtle things, like her suitcase was in plaid of the Gryffindor because Cassidy is a Gryffindor. And there were some subtle references. She met this girl, Lana, who was talking about how, you know, like, oh, don't go Hufflepuff on me. I actually happen to lean more towards Ravenclaw. And it's like, go girl. I mean, I love this. It was just, that was such a fun little additive. And there was quite a few instances where she mentioned Harry Potter. So it was great because it felt like a modern day middle schooler who was actually participating in this book, because just like everybody else who has read Harry Potter, well, most everybody else who has read Harry Potter, she just absolutely loves Harry Potter. So I felt that was just such a fun thing. Now, Cassidy herself was a fun character. I kind of got the impression that Cassidy was kind of like one of those mellow chicks, not quite Daria, you know, the cartoon reference. and not quite, you know, like cheery Miss Sunshine, but she was just kind of like right there in the middle. She just seemed kind of like, you know, like an average girl who could see ghosts. And I really kind of liked that about her because I felt that made her a little bit more relatable. Also, her best friend Jacob, who is a ghost, was also such a interesting character. There's still a lot of mystery to him. There's still a lot of things that we are not told about him, but this is just the first book to a series, so I'm sure in the books to come Victoria Schwab will elaborate on who Jacob is and maybe go into more of why Jacob, being a ghost, was the one who was drawn to Cassidy. I really enjoyed the relationship that Cassidy and Jacob had. It seemed like she was kind of alone before Jacob, but the fact that she now had a best friend who's a ghost was a lot of fun. Cassidy's parents, they're not overbearing. They're definitely like the loving, supportive parents, which I love seeing that in any book. So this book takes place at the end of the school year, and Cassidy is very excited because her and her parents have planned a trip to the beach for a few weeks, and she has not been to the beach in quite a while. This is something different than they normally do. She is not going to have to deal with them ghost hunting. It's just going to be this fun family trip. Her parents, and Jacob, who they cannot see. But because Cassidy's parents have been so successful in their books, they have to drop a bomb on her and say, they're kind of producing our books into a TV show. So the beach, I hope you're okay with that. It's not going to happen, but we're going to Scotland to do some more ghost hunting. And you know, Cassidy is very inwardly sad about this because she was very much looking forward to the beach, but she wanted to do something for her parents and she knew how much this had meant to them, so she agreed to go. Scotland is actually what we like to call the City of Ghosts, which is what this is named after, because it is extremely haunted. I don't want to give you guys any more details about this, especially if you guys decide to go ahead and read this book. It is out now, and I do recommend reading it. This is definitely not something that's going to take you a long time to read. The writing in it is actually pretty big. It's only about just over 300 pages. It's not long at all, and it's such a fun read. So overall, I gave City of Ghosts a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The 0.5 stars was just because the characters were still not quite as fleshed out as I would have liked, but I still liked the overall feel that the book gave me for them. And overall, this book was a lot of fun to read. Well, that's it. My name is Kira. I am the Bookbella, and I am so glad you guys joined me today to watch my video. If you guys liked my video, please hit the little like button, hit subscribe, and after you hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon. If you want to receive emails every time I post, hit the little bell icon.